Okay, I think we're live. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So happy that you came and checked me out again. Right next to me, you might see someone that you might not readily recognize right off the bat, although I did promise that I was going to give her an opportunity to be the next rising YouTube star. But this is Mary McQuain. I'm starting to sound like Caleb again. Yeah, you call her by the wrong name for months. But no, Mary McQuain. And I'm making an announcement, big announcement, second video out, that Mary will now be my co-host for the Mike Metco meetups. And I'm so grateful and honored and happy to have her. She's just a great, great girl. Like I said, you might not recognize her, but if you've spent like more than a minute in the YouTube reselling world and the chats and all, you know Mary. Mary is one of the most prolific commenters and supporters. I mean, people have said that I'm like the biggest supporter of the reselling community, but I don't know. I think I have to share that title with Mary. She really is a great girl. So I'm going to really give the mic over to Mary in a minute, but I just want to tell a little bit for context, how I met her and a little bit about just the whole being able to connect with community just in the chat rooms. I know I always emphasize community as my mission statement and message, and the importance of meetups. But I'll tell you a little secret: you really don't even need to go to a meetup to be able to engage in community, and Mary has certainly proven that, and I've done the same thing. All you need to do is just to be active. What you find someone's video, someone's podcast, a show, or whatever that you like, and you just get active in the chat, and then you get known. You get to know people, and people get to know you. Now, before I had the pleasure of meeting Mary, I had known her pretty well just from the chats. We'd never met. I don't think I ever really even responded to one of her comments that she had to me, although we do that now because we're friends. But I just knew a lot. I knew a lot about Mary, just like a lot of other people. So when I heard that Mary was going to be at the 127 highway sale, I was thrilled, and everyone else in the locker room, guys, was really happy to be able to finally meet Mary. Put eyes to a face, as they say. And she was delightful. I tell you, this girl can hang out. I mean, she hung out with us at the Airbnb like the whole week, and we were partying, we were carrying on and getting along, and trying to be gentlemanly because there was a woman in the room. But it got a little, I wouldn't say raunchy, but we were guys being guys, and Mary was able to hang out. She was like certainly a lady, definitely a lady, and conducted herself as so. But she also kind of was one of the boys as well, and chimed right in. It was like really, really made us comfortable, and I really fell in love with Mary in a platonic way, right from then, and we've had like a great relationship after that. And again, this really proves the point of community and having an opportunity to, when you finally get to meet someone and do that. So when I started this channel, I, Mary was very, very happy for me and congratulatory and all of that. And I was thinking about it. I said, you know what? She would definitely be an asset to my channel. Really, I think she would. And I didn't know at the time what an asset that she definitely would be. I knew she'd be like a great, on-air presence and bubbly, and someone to like bounce ideas off of. And I think we have a pretty good chemistry, so I thought it would be, a good collaboration. But as I started to like learn more and more about Mary, I mean, she brought a lot to the table. I mean, she's, she has a history of organizing get-togethers. I mean, she was very active in the local music scene, and she set up. She had interviews and such, and then in the military scene, she organized some get-togethers and things. Well, I don't want to steal her thunder. I'll let her tell you all about that. But I mean, she was even on television. I mean, the girl was on television. She was on local TV, and like I said, I didn't know any of this stuff until I was kind of doing a little bit of learning more about Mary as we were getting involved, with the channel. but she really brings a lot to the table. So I could just sit and talk about her all day. So I don't want to do that. So without any further ado, I am going to introduce you to the new host of Mike Metco meetups, and I'm sure you'll all be happy to meet her as well, Mary McQuain. How you doing, Mary?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. All right. So as I said, I didn't want to tell the audience your whole story. I told about half of it, but why don't you elaborate? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me on. I was beyond thrilled when you came up with that idea because I was truly just happy for you and I just wanted to help in any way I could. Um, I like Mike was saying, I used to do I used to put together local concerts to benefit the military, and I even actually did one for animal rescue. So I kind of have that desire to do those kinds of things, to put together things, and I haven't put together a concert for quite a few years now. And so when he was talking about, putting together, but just going to and promoting meetups, because I used to promote the local music too, and interview the bands to help promote it. It was all local and regional bands. I thought, wow, this is really cool because now I'm a lot more involved in reselling. But the first meetup I actually went to was the 127, and meeting, the two old guys and the locker room guys and the other people that went there. Everybody was just an absolute joy. I mean, I've made what I feel like is lifelong friends there, and everybody's still in touch between YouTube and other social media platforms. Um, but how I got into reselling is and I'm a little nervous, so I'll probably say a few times, so just bear with me. uh, I was selling things. I had moved out of the home that I raised my family in, and I moved into a small apartment, and I had just all this stuff. So it's like, okay, I no longer have the room for this stuff. So I started selling things in Facebook groups. And and once you sell something, you realize that that it's easier to let go of other things. So I kept doing that. And then eventually I discovered eBay, and it's like, okay. And you kind of get it. Back then you were doing more. I felt like we were doing more auctions. That was in 2011, 2012. So I was auctioning things off, and at the very end of the auction, when when everybody's bidding it up, that's a blast to listen to. So I slowly but surely was getting rid of more things, and then I moved, and I think by that time I was starting to find people on YouTube. I think I was looking for side hustles because I was in debt. So I wanted to pay off my debt. I mean, I was a big Dave Ramsey fan. Well, I still am. But I really wanted to pay off my debt because that was really bringing me down. So I was looking for side hustles, and I found Chris, the thrift shop hustler, and I started following him. And so I started doing merch by Amazon. and that I'm not very creative, so that didn't go that well, but it was something. But Chris is also a reseller. And so I started watching that kind of thing. And then he would do little podcasts with Margaret, Texas Gal Treasures. And so I was watching them, do these things. So, and in the meantime, I found Primetime Treasure Hunter, and I found a few other channels. So I was in the thrift store one day, and it's like, well, maybe I can try this. So I bought a few things at the thrift store, and the very first thing I sold was an animal action figure from the Muppets. And the first person I told was my friend Dominic, Primetime Treasure Hunter. As soon as I sold, because that was the first thing I actually resold. And so I messaged him. I'm like, guess what? And he's like, what did you sell? And I said animal. And he said that was his favorite Muppet character. So that was really encouraging to do that. So I just kept selling, and then meanwhile I'm getting rid of more of my own stuff. So I'm reselling and getting rid of more of my own stuff. And it took me 5 years, but eventually I was able to completely get out of debt. And then that's when I wound up on the Dave Ramsey show in 2020. So I got out of debt in January of 2020, which was 2 months before everything shut down. So it was really nice not to have that burden, and luckily I was very blessed and fortunate to have kept my day job that whole time. So I'm not in an industry that we shut down. So that was beneficial. So anyway, and then yeah, so I've just kept on reselling as a kind of a side hustle ever since.
Great, great. Well, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to start showing signs of being nervous, Mary. I don't see it. You know, actually, I was very impressed. You didn't. You really didn't mention that that guest stint on the local TV channel for the Warrior Jam. I mean, you were so poised and you were so relaxed. So I don't know. Maybe maybe they coached you or something. But you were like, you were fine. You were good to go. You look like a pro. You had even made the comment to me. At least, I'm glad my Mike was there, who kind of held me as a little bit more, less nervous. I says he looked more nervous than you did. I mean, you really did well. So I want to talk a little bit about that, because I think that was a great event and a great cause. If you'd like to just embellish on that a little bit.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, the main concert I used to put together every year was called Warrior Jam, and it's here I live in right outside of Columbus, Ohio. So I was in Columbus, Ohio. And that was a concert that I put together with a local club to benefit the Warrior Foundation Freedom Station, which is different than Wounded Warrior Project. Warrior Foundation Freedom Station is out of San Diego, and then the Marine Corps Family Support Community, which is out of Columbus, Ohio. And my son was active military, Marine Corps at the time, and then I was really into the local music, and so I brought the two together. And I was fortunate to be able to get a piece on a local TV show, a morning show. And my friend Mike, who heads Lima. I can't remember the name of it. It's the Lima. There were a group of these men that were killed from Lima Company, and he heads the there was an artist that did a lot of portraits of these men, and he heads that up. So he came on with me because I was really nervous. But we talked about the event. So I was on TV a couple times for that, and I was also on the local radio station to promote those events, and they were very well received. I mean, they were a lot of fun, and all the bands volunteered their time. I mean, I wasn't making any money. It's all of the money went toward the two organizations, so they were a lot of fun.
Very nice, very nice, and I really thank you for that effort, because I'm a big supporter of the military, and I was never in the military, unfortunately, but whenever I see someone who's in the military or is a supporter of the military, I'm really beholden to them, and I appreciate it. And I'm glad you mentioned your son Joe. You shouted him out, because if you didn't, I was gonna.
Oh, yeah.
I just loved. And hey Joe, how are you? Well, actually, I'll tell you how I actually first met Mary and Joe. During the 127, the locker room had sponsored a bowling tournament. Right, we all came and we wore funny bowling T-shirts, and I just knew the locker room guys and not anyone else. I had not met Mary yet, and I certainly didn't meet her son Joe. But I've always been told that whenever you're at a mixer or something, a get together, a meetup, if there's someone that you see that you don't recognize, you go right up to them and say, "Hey, I'm Mike, and how are you?" So I did that with Joe, and I said, "Hey, I'm Mike. How are you?" "Hey, my name's Joe," and we just hit it off right away. He was like such a great kid. I mean, just a wonderful, wonderful boy, Mary. You should be proud. And then I says, "Well," and then you get to the inevitable, reseller date kind of question. So what do you resell? Right? That's the first question he asked. And Joe says, "Well, no, I'm not a reseller. Actually, I'm just here to support my mom." I said, "Who's your mom?" She says, Mary McQuain. So, wow, you're Mary's son? I could tell. I could see. And then I got a chance to meet you. And, the rest is history. Like I said, we had fun. Mary.
Yeah.
Now, you may see me in the chats or, wherever, doing the Mary, and I'll tell you where that came from. We're at a bowling tournament, right? Like it's like high fives and shouts and everything and camaraderie. So whenever Mary would get up to bowl, Mary, and I continued that. It's just like our little stick. It's a stupid little thing. I don't even know why I shared that. That's something just between her and I. But now it's between her and I and the community. And I'm so glad that you're part of it, Mary. I think we're going to have a lot of fun together. I just wanted to say a couple other things. Oh, I did want to say I hope everyone had a nice, Christmas. This is like we're recording like the 27th,
Mhm.
2 days after Christmas. So I hope everyone had a nice Christmas holiday or whatever you celebrate for the holidays. And I had a great time, I tell you. And again, I'm going to make a pitch for our community. I always will. That's really the intent of the channel here. I'm 69, and I really don't have too much actual, official family left. I have a couple of cousins, and I had dinner with them and all of that. But basically, that's it. And I'm alone. And I always pointed out also that, as a eBay reseller, it's a lonely kind of gig as well, and that's why I love the community. I got to tell you, I had such a great time Christmas morning. I was on the phone and on text and emails like for about 5 hours with all my extended eBay reseller and YouTube community, and I did not feel alone. I did not feel alone. So that's the whole idea of the of the channel, and also just to encourage people to, even with regardless of whether you get involved in meetups or not, just to get involved in the in the community however you can. I mean, there's so many different ways that we can reach out. I mean, you have emails, you have chats, you have all of that official stuff. But now that the social media has come onto the scene, I mean, you can communicate so many different ways: Facebook and Instagram and all that other stuff, and even in the chats. Even in the chats, I love communicating with people in the chats. Um, because you have a commonality. You're talking about whatever the theme of that particular show was, so you could bounce ideas off of each other, and you develop these friendships and all of that, and it's really good. And the community, I can't speak enough about the community, how well it has supported me. I mean, just with this channel, just reaching out, everyone who really supported me in this channel. Now, like I said, it's not going to be a big channel. I'm not looking really to blow up or whatever, but I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I have like over 100 subs already, and and not to pat myself on the back because it's not me, believe me, it's really just everyone else. I mean, when my first video dropped, it was 2 Mondays ago. It was like about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I put it up on my channel, and then that night, John, flipping name Easy, had his Monday live, and I had mentioned it, and he put a link, and he supported the channel, put up a picture of the channel and everything, and I got some views and some support from that. And then like after that, Shane, sort of City Flips had his Monday live, and I went on his live, and he did the same thing, and he just really pushed me out, and little by little, I'm growing. I'm feeding off of everyone else's, um, you know, uh, uh, strengths and whatever and viewership. Then I got a call from and I like, I get excited. So I blast it out to everyone. I'm on various different group chats and everything, and I have everyone's text numbers, and I said to everybody, "Hey, I'm starting my channel." First video, so I sent it out to Dave as well from Trash to Cash, and he said he texted me back, "Oh, that's great. Good luck with the channel. Why don't you come on tonight and you can promote the channel?" So now this, like, I Trash to Cash, by the way, a little representation. There it is. And one of my favorite channels. I mean, it's certainly up there as one of the best podcasts as well. And to be honest, if you had even suggested like a month ago of me like being on Trash to Cash, would have been like my lifelong goal to do so. I would have like probably crapped my pants to be honest, not to be vulgar. But now I got my newfound confidence, and I went on and I says, "Yeah, sure, great, I'm in. I'll be there at 8 o'clock." Now I had no idea what to expect. Now I don't know if he was inviting me to be on the secret episode because I'm a member, and they have like a secondary show just for members only, which is a smaller, exposure, or if it was the actual podcast. And at that, I don't know if I was going to be on for a couple of minutes and, tell us about your channel, and that's it. But no, they put me on the main podcast. I was one of the four squares. I was on for the entire hour, and they featured me for the whole hour. So between those three shout outs, and even the locker room, when the locker room, because those are my boys. That's my home turf. I'm the ambassador to the locker room. Ben was nice enough to give me a really good shout out, and and advertise the channel for me. So like I'm moving along in everyone else's theme. So I really wanted to just mention that to acknowledge my appreciation for that, and really, again, just really to make the point of the importance of engaging in community, because in my case, it's helping out my channel. It's always helped out my reselling business as well. And just like I said, I had such a great time Christmas morning. There's so many benefits to just taking the opportunity to doing whatever little effort it takes to reach out there and connect with your family. This is such a great community. I can never say enough about it. I'm so happy and grateful to now be in this position to be a spokesman for the meetups. And I promise that I will do whatever I can to support that effort and to be a champion for our cause of engaging in community in our in the reselling world, whatever you sell. So the introductions are done. Ready to get to work now, Mary?
I'm ready.
Ready to go. All right. So really not much to really report now. I do have my official. John Miller said, "You're official now. You got the stickers." I have. So what we'll do probably I'm just going to basically make some announcements, things that I've been looking into. Now, being the reseller guy, whenever I hear of anything that's maybe coming up or whatever, I jot it down. And I'm basically the purpose of this channel is to be a sounding board. I'm going to collect information and I'm going to disseminate it at every time I have a podcast. Now, the next couple of videos to look forward to is I'm going to the first meetup that I will actually be at will be the Boss Reseller, and that's March 10th to 13th in Las Vegas. So I'm going to schedule an interview with Katie and Vicky and Teresa Cox, the hosts of that, and again the structure of this video channel is threefold. Prior to the event, we'll do an interview with the organizers, and then during the event will be the man and the woman on the street, and interview people and take some videos about the local activities and this and that. And then the third aspect of it would be like a kind of a wrap up after I get home, what I picked at the various shows and this and that. So that's the structure. So as far as specifics, what's coming up presently is that the Boss Reselling Remix, March 10th to 13th, 2025. And then the next one that I will be at physically is the Plains to Profit Meetup, which is March 28th and 29th in Omaha, Nebraska, which is being hosted by Corey and Teresa from Grams and Pops Vintage. And I will also have an interview with them as well prior to the meetup. I've been to Boss. Actually, the Boss was the first one that I was at, and I'm really beholden to them because that's what got me started in this whole meetup kind of deal. The Plains to Profit meetup I have not been to yet, but I understand it's shaping up to be a good event. They had it last year as well, and they rent out a party bus to go garage selling, so we got 50 people on the bus on a Saturday morning driving around. That should be a laugh. So that'll be a lot of fun. Also in March, which I will not be attending because of the conflict with the Boss Remix, is Peaches to Beaches, which will be March 14th and 15th. And that's held in Georgia. There'll be more information. And as I get more information, I will, mention it on this little kind of bulletin board segment that I'm doing now. Oh, and by the way, if anyone has any information to give or has any questions, get in touch with me. Like I said, I'm kind of like going to be the collection point. So anything anyone has that they can offer as far as like a particular venue for a meetup or whatever, let me know, and work with you, and we'll try to help you get something organized, or even if you just want to not do any organization yourself, but just offer some information, or if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. I'll pin some contact information in the comments as well. Then Oh, then the next one that I will be attending, uh, which is in April, is the Nashville meetup hosted by the Nashville Flipper Ray, and I'm going to get in touch with him and do the same thing and set up a little bit of an interview, get some information from him that I can share with you on the channel. And there's a bunch of other ones coming up that I don't really have any much information to divulge now, but stay tuned. And like I said, each time that I meet with you guys, I'll give you whatever information that I have. So that's about all I have. What do you have, Mary? Anything before we say goodbye?
Well, I did just want to add something. I know again with a lot of these, it's a lot of eBay reselling, and that's probably the majority of the people that watch. But I do want to encourage people, if you sell on other platforms,
Oh, absolutely.
meetups are. I don't even sell on eBay anymore. I sell on Mercari and Poshmark and some Facebook marketplace. And so I don't want people to be discouraged of, from going to the meetups, even if you don't happen to sell on eBay. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of it's just fun anyway, just hanging out with people. But you can talk about the business in general. I mean, I would run my business, to a smaller extent, than some of the bigger resellers, but I would have to do the tax stuff, and I'd have to do everything pretty much the same as somebody on eBay, so we all have that common denominator of reselling wherever you sell. So I just didn't want people discouraged if you didn't say sell on eBay, although I know the majority of people watching probably do.
No, absolutely. And thanks for pointing that out. I didn't mean to dissuade anyone from any other platforms. I mean, I sell just on eBay, and I've been saying eBay, but it's reselling. It's generic.
Mhm.
I mean, all of these meetups, as Mary pointed out, just for reselling, and it really doesn't matter because it's pretty much all the same thing. And I found that there's really no distinction between a Poshmark seller, or a Mercari seller, an eBay seller, an Amazon seller. We're all pretty much doing the same thing, and we have the same interests, and we can know there's no distinction between any of them. So, but I'm glad you pointed that out. See, that's what you have a co-host for. This thing, then you get
Yeah.
you get single focused, and like I said, just because I'm an eBay specifically seller doesn't mean that doesn't pertain to anyone else. All
Mhm.
right, so I think that's about it for now. Um, and as I said, yes, I'm not one for subscribe, like, and all of that stuff. To be honest, like I said, I'm not really. It's great to be acknowledged, but I'm not looking to storm the YouTube world with my channel. But I would suggest that you know if you wanted to, if you're interested in keeping track on what's going on, then subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you will be informed. I'm not going to drop a video every week or whatever. Like I said, there'll probably be maybe one or two more before March. Just those two interviews with the boss and the Planes to Profit organizers, and then the actual content during the events as well. So there's not going to be 1,000 of them. It's just going to be a channel that's devoted specifically to covering the meetups. So if you want to be informed, just make sure you have that notification bell turned on. And other than that, again, thank you so much for joining. I'm just so humbled by the fact that someone will spend 20, 25 minutes, from their busy day and listening to this little guy chat on and on and on about it. But now I have a partner, so she's going to share the blame or the acknowledgments, however you want to look at it. So
You,
Mary, it's so great having you.
you too. Thank you for having me.
And we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye,
Happy
everyone.
New Year.
Happy New Year too. Bye bye.
Bye.